FTX scandal isn't recent, but the news was just blown up and so hyped. Sitting back and watching how most people have taken it, there's a popular pop culture character that calls himself Mr. Wonderful, and his name is Kevin O'Leary, and he's been on television explaining how there needs to be regulation to prevent I think he was involved. He was directly involved, not in the fall, but he was a spokesperson. So he was connected to the company in that regard. We never have recommended FTX or Celsius or any third-party intermediaries, just because this is an education channel, and we're really about learning about Ethereum, Polygon, Bitcoin, IBC network, about the actual blockchains, and not as interested in the different companies that earn profit by offering blockchain or crypto services. There are many out there, and they can be great entryways or exit points for many people. But I think that what's been lost, I have not seen many people talk about, the FTX collapse was not a crypto regulation problem. So when you have Kevin O'Leary or some politician coming out and saying, because of the FTX collapse, we need to be more careful, have more regulators, the reality was, just like Enron or Bernie Madoff, or go down the list of other mainstream market debacles, this was a complete oversight of the current model, and nothing had to do with blockchain and crypto. In fact, all of the assets that people have in their FTX wallets right now, if you go to those blockchains, Ethereum, Algorand, Polygon, Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, whatever they have right there, they're still either coins running on a blockchain or the blockchain running itself. So the idea that Sam Bankman-Friedman, or that this company moving around retail investors' funds and spending it in ways they shouldn't have, and rehypothecating it, doing whatever they're doing, so that later on, when the markets go down and people want their money back, it's not there. This happens in mainstream markets all the time, and that's why there are laws to protect financial intermediaries from these types of bank runs if they happen often. But if there was a problem in how the funds were commingled or not accounted properly, and then that still has everything to do with the current financial regulatory system that's been in place for for a long time. So to pretend like this is some type of lack of crypto regulation is just disingenuous. It's not true. And
right, because really, if we are going to even get close to helping solve this kind of an issue with FTX or anything like that, it wouldn't be something that you would need to do to crypto as a whole. It would be more like, if you're a company that's being an intermediary between banks and retail investors, and you need to be subject to security laws, or whatever the commodity, whatever sector you're in, that you should be subject to those laws and regulations and oversight. And I think so, if there is any changes to be made to prevent this, ideally, of course, it'll never be completely prevented, because even Bernie Madoff was under SEC jurisdiction and had been investigated and audited and everything. So there's no foolproof fix to this. But if we're going to try to patch the hole in terms of like these crypto banks, then I think regulating the crypto banks makes sense. Sure. And so in that sense, it is a crypto problem, but only in the sense that it's related to to that trade, right? But it's not something that's a native crypto problem, because there are plenty of exchanges that are unregulated, that don't fit this model of a third party intermediary with custody. Thinking about things like Uniswap or Osmosis, where it's an unregulated exchange, but this kind of problem is not going to happen, because there's no custody of anything. So it's really these custodians that should be regulated like any custodian, right? And that's
the whole point.
Yeah.
if you're an intermediary, you're a registered company that's a custodian of other people's property. They're whether it's real estate, whether it's
Yes.
money in their account or gold, then you have to be careful how you lend it out or lease it out or sell it out. Because if they come back and say that we're ready for our property again, and somebody else is living there or somebody else is using that gold or that money, then you're going to have a problem. But that's the whole point, is that I feel there's a lot of still of ignorance around this subject, and too many people are coddling this FTX debacle as an actual. They're treating it. They're just accepting it as it being a cryptocurrency lack of regulation problem. When the reality is it had little to do. I mean, yes, they did tell people, give us your money and we'll buy cryptocurrency and hold it for you. So there is that. But as far as them spending the money and not doing shady things with it, or not having it for people, not actually having those assets there, that's not a cryptocurrency issue. That is how that company was run and how they reported what they had. And so in these kinds of corporate, white collar crimes or corporate issues have been happening in the system. And this is proof that it can still happen in the system. Kevin O'Leary was really just a part of a corporation that was set to maybe profit off of this new growing technology sector. But it turns out that he was behind, the company made some back
It was a Ponzi scheme.
But as far as those different crypto assets being concerned, they're still resilient, solid, fine, and continuing to function and build. So I think it's important for people, especially if you don't want to miss out on opportunities, don't look at FTX as being some cryptocurrency failure or problem with lack of regulation. Actually, if you look at Aave and what's going on in the decentralized finance code is law world, and you go look at Curve, or you go look at other decentralized exchanges, there's more interoperability, there's order books and more developments taking place. So we're actually finding the funny thing is FTX is why so many people choose to go directly into crypto and blockchain. That's the irony, is saying we need more regulation because this crypto debacle. It's like, well,
it's one of the things that tried to solve was that it was the problem with counterparty risk, right? So you could control your own finances, and you've got to not have to not even, it's trustless, right? That was the whole idea. We could have consensus without trusting these intermediaries, these third parties. It's done through code. And so what we're seeing with FTX is a symptom of a system that was there already, and that crypto was invented in part to kind of get around. So for it to sneak back in the back door in a centralized company with that's an intermediary that takes custody of these funds, that's no shock, because that's the exact same species of animal that was doing that same thing in the old system. So the fact that it came into the new and repeated its game, of course, why wouldn't it? But that's not native to the blockchain itself. That's just what happens when a company gets involved with taking custody of blockchain assets. These kind of things are possible, and that's custodial risk, right?
Hey, if you like that clip and you want to hear the rest of it and learn more about macroeconomics, cryptocurrency regulation, and the opportunities out there, hit the link right here for the full conversation that we had, or here, wherever we put it. I'm not sure. But you can also support us by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. So when we drop our next content, you get it right away and don't miss those opportunities. Also, there's more.
Yes, if you would like one-on-one assistance or even a group meeting, we can provide consulting and advice on crypto gateways and exit ramps, as well as securing your crypto, as well as swapping, storing, or staking, or NFTs, or any of the above. So feel free to fill out the form at our wisebeyondbitcoin.com website. We'll get back to you and schedule a meeting.
Absolutely. We've been in blockchain and crypto for several years, since the 2017 ICO days directly, and following it since the beginning, actually, and been in economics and finance for years before then. So we look forward to helping you in your education journey. Feel free to let us know if you're just looking to learn more about market diversification. Blockchain and crypto, there's layer ones, layer twos, NFTs, applications being built. So if there's something we can do to help you, we look forward to it. Until then, thank you. Namaste, and have a beautiful day.